We are living in the era of the worship of lies. Driven by fear, we kneel in supplication to falsehood and wrong. In our end of days, vainglorious and carefree arrogance, we have forgotten about mankind's ability to forge dreams from the air, remembering instead only to deify the basest, least compelling and defining parts of who we really are and what our short time on this planet actually means. To be fair, we have been concertedly abused into this position by weak and fearful men, crazed safetyists and nihilistic zero-deathers who took hope by the neck and before our very eyes wrung it all but lifeless for our own damn good. Their reckless eulogy now the steady pile of excess bodies which continue to pile up week on week, month on month, year on year, like an edifice to the collateral damage of their terror. There is a reason it is said we have nothing to fear but fear itself, because when a society orientates itself on fear, chaos is loosed upon the world. But those who sought to save themselves by telling you how to live have not slunk away chastened and ashamed. Instead, they strut the streets among us, their minds consumed only with conjuring up the next lie to collapse in abject and false worship before, so they may find in their pernicious meddling some semblance of meaning. We see this worship of the climate hypocrisy, and some might say hoax, and the feckless march towards net zero. The zero-deathers disparage humanity itself so deeply as to see it as some sort of malevolent and sticky virus sweeping across this planet, parasitizing Mother Earth for the original sin of just being alive. The pursuit of hope, so crucial to the flourishing of humanity, is replaced by the much simpler pursuit of hate, for that which separates and that which divides. For the darkness in our hearts and the hideous human suffering and repentance demanded for Earth to survive in spite of our abominable existence. Violent compassion for Mother Earth drives us ever closer to the precipice of reason, and despite every single lie we are told, every lost prediction and rigged ballot of propaganda, tall oak trees still look on in stoic confusion, providing constant shade from the burning and angry sun. We see the worship of lies in humanity's desire not to celebrate the best, but to lionize the worst. Next week begins the celebration of fully 1/3 of a year's cultish obsession with sex, unironically called Pride Month, where we all have to pretend we care two hoots about the baser things consenting adults decide to do behind closed doors. Not content with our aloof acceptance and understanding, those who hate being alive make ever more deviant demands, forcing our compliance and affirmation of their fleshly whims. And with no low-hanging fruit left to pick in society's gentle and inspiring civil progression, darker, sourer berries are sought, deep-coloured berries which have remained long out of reach in the upper branches of our imaginations. Children's perfect bodies are now in the sights of the lascivious who delight in chaos and mutilation. But as sure as there are these moments, and they arise, they must also subside. The cycle of life is unwelcoming to constant terror, inhospitable to disorder and chaos. These battles are not new. They have raged 1,000 times before. They are ever repeating and repeated, and mankind is canny and elusive to their destructive desires. He has methods to treat the malignant tumours which periodically eat away at proper consciousness. And just as every tool can be used to create or destroy, there is a dual purpose to all our actions and motivations. We have history to remind us of what happens when we use ourselves for hope and human flourishing, and history also to remind us of what happens when opposite forces run wild instead. So, it is with hope that the songs of change grow louder every day. Like a faint chatter from deep in the cosmos, there is a shift taking place. More and more voices sing out against involuntary observance to a religion which glorifies in the worship of lies. We must stand together against the pointlessly virtuous who gleefully torture young minds with their lies about the planet, their own unique and precious bodies, so the virtuous can feel less empty inside. And as the sun begins to set on the era of the worship of lies, a new dawn is coming, and with it, proclamation and affirmation of the truth.